Hi, I'm Katie Farman with Edible Orlando magazine. You can find us online at edibleorlando.com as well as Facebook and Instagram. And today with our partner in wellness, AdventHealth, we're here at the beautiful Lake Meadow Naturals Farm in Ocoee. Now it's the perfect time of year in Central Florida to be out here on the farm. You can come to Lake Meadow and go to their farm store. You can see their chickens and their llamas, their goats, even a cow. It's a great place to bring the family and we love being here. Today here on the farm we have Chef Venoy Rogers as well as Dr. Cesar Jara from AdventHealth, who's a cardiologist. And today they're going to show us how to make a beautiful Florida snapper with a veggie-filled Veracruz sauce. It's quick, it's healthy, it's delicious, and I can't wait to see it.
Hello, I am Dr. Cesar Jara, interventional cardiologist with AdventHealth. And just to remind you, we are not wearing a mask here because we are outdoors, as you can see, in a farm, and we're keeping a safe 2 meters or 6 feet distance. And we are here with Chef Venoy. What are you going to cook today?
Today we're going to do a local snapper Veracruz with a little parsnip puree. So I'll go ahead and get started. First thing, the star of the show, our local snapper. I believe this came out of Marquis Island over on the Gulf side. We'll season that up with a little salt and pepper, and then it's going to get seared with in this pan with some olive oil. So a little bit of salt there.
Now I understand why they invited a cardiologist. Yeah, yeah, because definitely fish, one serving at least a week is the recommendation by the American Heart Association. And what are we cooking today? It's a snapper, correct?
Yes, this is going to be a snapper. This dish would work with just about any fish, Doctor. Grouper, of course, we're lucky here in Florida to have such a bounty of different options, but today we chose snapper. Like I said, it could be a grouper, mahi, any type of fish. You could even go chicken or something like that with this dish. One of the reasons I chose this sauce was for its versatility. Of course, the healthiness as well. I think it's a summer, it's a winter side of sauce, and with just a few modifications, it could become something else also. But today, very simple. It's going to match the day. I think it's going to pair perfectly with this fish, and hopefully I don't disappoint in the area of healthiness.
No, you won't, especially with fish. We know that fish is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, and they are very, very helpful in prevention of cardiovascular disease, decrease inflammation. And for the people that are certainly worried about mercury content, snapper is in the good fish list. You can check that out at the EPA site, the Environmental Protection Agency. Certainly one serving, which is about 8 ounces a week, you'll be very good with no issues regarding mercury.
Another reason why I chose this dish too is its simplicity. It's very easy. I added this fish into the pan. We're going to get a little sear that's going to provide some flavor first, a little bit of texture as well, and then we'll actually remove it and get the rest of the vegetables and the actual Veracruzano sauce started. So,
what kind of oil did you use there?
Olive oil.
Olive oil.
Yes, beautiful olive oil. I got this from the Ancient Olive, and it's a very, very good Spanish.
You read up before coming here, no?
I did a little
about
bit.
Cardiology. Yes. Olive oil is another recommended type of oil. It's a monounsaturated oil that is very good in a healthy diet, especially for prevention of cardiovascular disease again. It does raise the HDL, which is the good cholesterol, but of course, like anything, it has to be done in moderation. How much oil did you use there? A couple of
as you can see, Doctor,
almost
maybe
nothing.
almost nothing. A teaspoon, just enough to lubricate my pan. It is going to provide some flavor, and as you can see here, gave me a beautiful color on the snapper there. So I've removed that after I've got it started, and I got that crust that I was mentioning. The pan is still hot. Since I use so little, I can go back, and since this is good for you, we're going to go back with just another teaspoon or so, and we'll start adding all these delicious aromatics and things like that to get our sauce going. Starting off here, a bunch of variations. You can use pickled chilies if you want. I chose to use some Fresno chilies and some jalapenos. Don't have a big heat tolerance, so I removed all the seeds and stems. There's also some garlic going in here, and I use fermented garlic. Something that I know is good for gut, and the flavor is something else. So we'll add that in there. And kind of get that started just really quick to open up, and then everything else goes into the pan. So onions will go in there.
This looks pretty tasty, Venoy.
And then we have some bell peppers, Doctor. I use all the colors. You could use just one.
Wow.
If you could find another color, throw that in there as well. But that'll go in.
So this is the Veracruz salsa or sauce?
Yes, that is correct.
Perfect.
This is I picked this up in Southern California, but it's a Mexican dish. It actually has a lot of European, Spanish influence.
Actually, do you know what Veracruz means?
I do not.
So Veracruz is one of the first cities founded by the Spaniards when they came and, of course, conquered Central and South America and some North America. Veracruz actually is the true cross. Vera Cruz, the true cross, and it was founded in 1519.
Wow.
Now, I'm not Mexican, by the way, but,
Right.
but it's an excellent sample of the fusion of Spanish flavors with pre-Hispanic American flavors. I mean, the olive oil was brought by the Spaniards. I see a
You see it
bottle of
coming.
olives there that might be coming later.
You see it
Garlic
coming.
is also from Europe, and of course the olive oil too. And garlic is also a very good one for cardiovascular prevention. Even some people will believe that has anti-inflammatory properties, good for the lungs, and also not good for vampires, I guess. Huh?
Doctor, you're spot on. Some of that stuff I did know, and you're absolutely right. I have some of that Spanish influence in the olives, also some capers. What I added while you were speaking, there was just a little bit of fennel seed and some cumin. I'm going to throw a little ancho chili powder in there. This is something that I just always add to it. And then, like I said, we'll throw these capers, juice, and everything in there.
Wow.
Some of that influence. That's going to give us some nice acidity to this sauce in the end as well.
So I see that you have a lot of natural fibers. Fibers is just a way to call any carbohydrates that cannot be absorbed. And as we all know, we need fibers in our regular daily diet. Truly, it does help with a good gastrointestinal health. Even can certainly decrease the risk of colon cancer. Yeah.
Excellent. So a couple things I added there. I deglazed the pan with a little bit of stock. That's going to help us with the actual sauce component here of our Veracruzano sauce. I also added some chopped tomatoes.
Tomatoes. You know where the word tomato comes from?
No, sir.
Tomato, which is an Aztec word for tomato. And tomatoes are, another of the contributions of the Americas to the world cuisine.
Yes. So as you can see here, beautiful color in this sauce. We have all the tomatoes in there. I added a little tomato paste as well, just to kind of enhance the tomato flavor that we have. Some fresh chopped cilantro went in there also. And at this point, guys, we can actually add the fish back in, and we can just kind of set it on top and let this sauce go, bubble. The fish is going to continue to cook. It's going to release some of its juice into our sauce, which is going to help and make that just as much more flavorful too. So back in with our protein here. Just kind of tuck those in a little bit.
That's a very good point that you mentioned. We need to have proteins in our diet, and one of the best sources of protein is indeed fish. You could even have up to 3 servings of fish a week. And again, there is excellent fish, there is good fish, and there is some fish that you want to stay away from. One way to remember is the bigger fish probably is the one that's going to have more mercury in it, and the one that lives longer, like shark. I mean, I don't eat shark. Do you eat shark?
I do. There's not much out there that I don't eat, actually.
An omnivore. We are omnivores, all of us. Yeah.
All right.
That looks pretty good.
Good.
Venoy.
So we're just going to kind of enhance it. We're almost done. The hard work is
That's
definitely.
it?
The hard work is done.
You have to teach me some, because
absolutely.
My wife is always complaining about me that I cook nothing.
Hang out with me a little bit, Doc. We can change that. So just to brighten everything up, we're going to add a little lemon juice from a fresh lemon here, or I'm sorry, a little lime juice. You could add lemon as well, just some citrus. We do have a good amount of acid with our capers and everything like that, but this citrus is going to give it an extra kind of boost, and always goes well with any kind of seafood. So that goes in.
And again, it's also healthy. You're adding a lot of vitamin C. We know that vitamin C is good for a lot of things, including prevention of infections. Yeah.
What do you think, Doc?
I think it looks very healthy, very
Excellent,
cardiovascular.
excellent. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, one thing that is important to mention is the antioxidants. You're going to find that in a lot of Google search. And you know what? They are right there on this food. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars a month in buying capsules necessarily. I mean, there's plenty of antioxidants on the food that Venoy is preparing. And I think that's one message that physicians want to get across, you guys. Really, a lot of the good source of healthy food isn't just regular, good farm food.
Heat is right. Just another minute for the fish to completely cook. We don't want it overcooked all the way. Is it okay to eat fish medium well, doctor, or should it all be
Well,
cooked?
you're asking the wrong guy, because I'm going to change my hat. I'm going to be Peruvian now. I'm originally from Peru, and we have, as you know, the famous ceviche,
of course,
which is raw fish cooked with lemon. But again, if it's a good source,
yes.
I mean, good hygiene in preparation, yeah, you could.
That's
but you got to be
great.
careful. And there are some people that should not have any kind of raw food, such as people that are immunocompromised, example, cancer patients. Yeah, they should stay away from anything that is raw.
All right, excellent. And I hope my side to get this dish complete hits all the buttons as far as healthy goes. I used parsnips in place of something like a mashed potato or something that you would want to have butter or cream. These parsnips naturally are very creamy, and even just boiled in water and pureed up with a little bit of salt and pepper, they're delicious. So that's actually what I have right over here. So I'll go ahead and bring my plate out. Our snapper Veracruz is done here. And here is just what I explained. Parsnips, we cooked them down in some water, a little bit of salt and pepper, and then we blended them up. If you wanted them completely creamed out, you could totally do that. You could just keep that blender going, add a little bit more of that cooking liquid, which has some starch in it, and it'll be a nice, beautiful puree. But I like it this way. Kind of reminds me of, like I said, a mashed potato.
It does look like mashed potato, but
right?
It is not potato.
It is not. Yes.
And actually, this is another great source of fiber, as well as vitamins and antioxidants. Yeah, it's
beautiful. So that'll just go in the center of a plate. You could plate this however you want. You could go without that and just eat the fish along with the vegetables that we have here. But we're going to go ahead and do this with our snapper here.
Look at that. The presentation is so important, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You eat with your eyes first. So
yes.
Now,
yes.
I don't know if that's medically a truth or anything like that, but we use it. We think
Absolutely,
that way.
yeah. Eyes and also a smell. Yeah, it's.
All right. So just right over the top, I like to go with some of this, and then we'll go around our dish here. And of course, you got to put some of that juice in there as well. So we'll get this around. We'll add a little bit of our wonderful liquid here to round out the plate, and then there's always room for a little garnish of some extra vegetable and some color here. So
you know, that looks really good.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So what we'll do,
smells good. You guys cannot smell it, but that's
for
also
some texture, we have some black radish here. We'll add those in, and then for a little bit of color, I have some marigolds, some edible flowers here that can go on top.
It's not gold, no? Because I read some crazy stuff that people
putting gold
sparkling
on the
some
food.
gold on the food, yeah.
How is that for health benefits? Is there any?
Zero.
Okay.
Yeah.
we'll pass on the gold today and use a marigold flower, which you could get those anywhere. I was in Whole Foods
Probably
the
you
other
get
day,
toxic.
and I saw all these wonderful microgreens and edible flowers. But here you go. This is a complete dish. This is a restaurant dish or something you can have at home as well. Very easy, as you saw. We did it here with one pot, and according to the doctor, we're staying healthy with the ingredients that we chose today.
This is absolutely a healthy dish, cardiovascular speaking, and beyond that. And as you can see, all these ingredients are right pretty much in your backyard. Yeah, and that's something that we need to definitely remark.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Venoy. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
Thank you, doctor. I appreciate it. Thanks for the approval there, and I'll be more than happy to teach you anytime. It was a pleasure showing you this dish here today. And again, like I said, I'm glad that it hits all the buttons for healthiness, something delicious that just about anybody will enjoy anytime.
you know I had to taste it. I can't wait. This Florida snapper and tons of veggies, and it came together so quickly and easily. The amount of flavor you can get in this quick of a dish is really pretty awesome. So you can find the recipe for yourself at edibleorlando.com. And I hope you'll join us again on Healthy Helpings.